Hi, good morning, everyone. As he mentioned, that my name is Param Bhargav. I'm the founder of the brand called T.A.C, the Ayurveda company. Excited and glad to be here in between the business worlds, conclave for bringing out emerging businesses. Uh, Giving a quick slight background that what we do, so that can give some context that how we are contributing to this new economy. We are currently India's one of the fastest growing Ayurvedic lifestyle consumer brand. We started our journey, so me and my wife are co-founders. Uh, we started our journey and our experience towards Ayurveda in 2019, when Shridha is our co-founder and CEO. When she was suffering through a lot of personal skincare issues due to certain family problems, and that resulted into what is called as urticaria, which is a severe form of hives across body, face, back, and everything. And she, has been a hustler in life, had to start work very early when she was 14 years old. And I always had that knack of, building something of my own whenever I get some idea or how, because I started working when I was 7 with my father. I used to sit, at his galla during, his multiple businesses while growing up. So always had that feeling that, someday I would really build something of my own. But, it's like, entrepreneurs generally are not built planned. They are primarily accidental entrepreneurs, because you really stumble upon something and then you start chasing that idea to convert it into reality. So her personal problem was our entry point into Ayurveda, where we started looking at this entire segment as one of the largest global opportunities for the future of India, because Ayurveda predominantly was existent in the world forever. It is a 5,000-year-old legacy, but it was never a mainstream category for India. There have been quite a few brands, but in pure sense, effective Ayurvedic products were not there, because consumers were not, getting to experience the same. We were young. We were very young when we, experienced it. So what we realized that the young India is not at all aware about Ayurveda, and how do we really bring and create a product line, a segment that connects and relates to this young generation, which is the future of the country. And how do we ensure that, these guys, the people like us who are like 24, 25, 30 years old, also start believing and buying into Ayurveda. From there, our journey began. We launched our first brand just before COVID. It was called Khadi Essentials. It is still one of the most popular brands in the country. While building it during, COVID, we realized that the opportunity which we are chasing is much bigger and beyond only, one brand. Because when you really want to take global, the way you look at, Prime Minister Modi now, earlier he was doing for yoga, now he's promoting Ayurveda at a global level. That, if something has to really be built and scaled, you really need to, get the youth behind that. So it's important that this young generation comes and believes into Ayurveda. So we realize that if we start building something which is more for this generation, it has to be very young, cool, sexy. And we clearly charted a roadmap for our new brand, which we launched in June of 2021. When we launched it, we were also very small, but within 9 to 10 months of our journey, because we were a digital first brand, a direct to consumer brand, we understood that how do you build business on your own website, How do you build businesses with partners like Amazon, Flipkart, Nykaa, Myntra? Use the digital marketing strategies to really amplify your growth. Use entire social media and assets like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok was also operational back then, to really connect with the audiences and promote your businesses in a rapid manner. Within 9 months of our journey, we skyrocketed our revenues, and we raised our first external seed round of a capital from one of the pioneers in the business. So Azim Premji's Wipro Consumer Care Ventures came as a seed round investors for our brand T.A.C, the Ayurveda company. It's almost 2.5 years in the journey, and we have grown multifold in terms of our presence across the country. We currently operate 20 of our own stores. We are at 5,000 plus point of sales and a very strong online presence. Post the seed round, we expanded offline, created, if you look at digital businesses, you look at a word called omni-channel strategy, which is like being present wherever the consumers are, because Indian consumers are highly dynamic in nature. If there is a wave of digital businesses, there is also a wave that within our space, which is a hyper competitive beauty personal care segment, is also that consumers want to first try and test out your products. So for us, immediately as we had raised our seed round, we started expanding offline, and post that, we also then very recently, 4-5 months back, we raised another round. We featured on Shark Tank in India. We were a part of the Finale brand, and then we raised a large pre-series A round. If you look at VC community, we raised almost 100 crores from one of the largest consumer funds called Sixth Sense Ventures. From into less than 2 years, we are almost a 150 crore revenue company, where we've been able to employ close to 900 odd people now, and contributing to the economy at a greater level and taking Indian Ayurveda global. So this is a little brief in what we do. Our typical large categories which we have been able to build is that are the skincare, hair care, bath and body, and general wellness, which is the preventive healthcare. The solutions which we are catering to are primarily for every consumer. So while we were looking at an opportunity, because why in less than 2-3 years, what we've been able to do is more important for this forum, that we identified the right gaps, that what gaps a person should be chasing or an entrepreneur should be chasing, because one really needs to look at that. If the opportunity or the idea that has to be really converted into a large reality, you really need to chase the right opportunity. Because if you are unable to, you are operating in say that I am doing my business and this is the best thing, then you might be far from reality. For us, it was always constantly, problem solving, also into finding the right opportunity. So what we realized as a brand, that Ayurveda was either you can say the legacy old brands which have been there, which have really became large brands in the space, but they never have come out with the highly effective products which consumers love and they buy on a regular basis. Because any brand that grows large or big has to have a repeat buying coming in, right? So we realized that Ayurveda was either very mass market, was say the older brands, they operate at 100-150 rupees pricing, where if you want to give effective product, it becomes difficult because your supply chain will not support you to bring down the ever increasing cost of raw materials. And on other hand, there were premium luxury brands which made it for a lot of large population of India unaffordable, because you cannot buy regularly a 1,500 to 1,000 rupees worth of product, which is a single product. So for us, first problem to be solved was that how do we ensure that we are operating or creating a product portfolio which is at the right price? Because India is still, growing at a great pace, but still a lot of population does not really earn a lot of money. So whatever you manufacture, it has to be for a large set of population. So we ensure that we give products at a 200 rupees to 500 rupees price point, and which are global in nature, that they have the best certifications. So our entire portfolio is chemical free, natural, sulfate paraben free, and have global certifications like Made Safe certified or certified, EcoCert certified, which are global certifications. And if the westernized brands that have come into India, why not an Indian young Ayurveda brands go global? So in less than 2.5 years of a journey, we are already operational in 17 plus countries. We are available in the US, we are available in the Europe, we are available in the Middle East. And the passion is that by 2030, that is the decade where we earlier were chasing, the country was chasing a 5 trillion dream. Now it has gone to almost 8 to 10 trillion. That should be the size of our economy. And by that time, we at T.A.C intend to become one of the largest global Ayurvedic brand. So, for us, the journey has been that, at such a young age of our business, we've been also very focused on bringing the right team members. Very recently, one of the most loved ex-chief executive officers of the country joined us as on our board as a co-CEO. His name is Mr. Sanjeev Gupta. He was the revolutionary CEO of Coca-Cola India. They changed the entire fortunes when, he joined Coke, and Coke was smaller than Pepsi in the country. So in less than 2.5 years, so one very clear learning for us that yes, raising capital only gives you wings to hire such people, but to create that trust, not amongst only consumers, but also in the working community, in the investment community, that such people should join your journey. Because if you're doing something good and honestly, there's a very large market that you can really build for yourself. So in the last 2.5 years, we have brought the best talent from the entire global companies as well as Indian large conglomerates to join and build something which can be, everlasting. So we have also spent, a lot of money in setting up large R&D facilities for Ayurveda. We operate primarily like pharma companies, which are very strong in processes, systems, and research and development, because largely, Ayurveda was there, but it was very unorganized. It was not that in terms of, people putting a lot of capital behind getting these certifications, not easy to achieve. So you really need to invest, one, into strengthening your supply chains, backend, and then going forward, that how do you ensure that your systems or processes are there to back you up. So we as a company have invested close to roughly $3 million only in improving our entire supply chain and strengthening our back-end manufacturing. And so that we compete with the likes of global brands like L'Oreal, which is one of the largest global beauty brand. How does T.A.C becomes a large Ayurvedic beauty brand and competes with them at a global level? Also, obviously, if you look at the new age economy, the new brands that have come on. So Aman Gupta of Boat is also one of our investors, and he invested on Shark Tank. And so there are quite a few learnings from entire this new age businesses that are coming in, the emerging businesses. The opportunities from consumer side, when we are in our own, the founder community, when we are talking to each other, we look at the way consumption is going up in India. India is becoming extremely aspirational, but it's also becoming, very upfront. the consumers are not the older consumers. They कि यार ठीक है product में कुछ भी problem हो चल जाता है. But आज का consumer takes you down, right, left, right, center, right? So when we sit amongst ourselves on the entire entrepreneurial founder community, so one thing we have very clearly understood that this now if something has to be built large, you need to be very transparent and quality first, because consumers are because of the technology, because of say WhatsApp feedback mechanisms or the entire social media, Thread, X, Instagram, Facebook, consumers can really downpull you. So so it's important that when we are building something large, it always the centricity lies your consumer feedback mechanism, and how do you keep on integrating and involve a lot of technology products to gauge that. So in last 2.5 years, we have also worked upon how do we really integrate technology across our business. So from understanding that what products have to be manufactured and what kind of innovation is required in product manufacturing and supply chains, from using technology in terms of reaching out to the consumers, say how do we ramp up our own app. We have our own app and that communicates with the consumers. How do we give them an advanced level of technology? We're about to launch an AI Ayurvedic dosha consultancy tool that would be available on our app and our in store, so that Vaidyas were always very distant as compared to doctors, because doctors are easily available. Vaidyas still are a far distant dream, because there is no platform that brings in a lot of Vaidyas and give them a platform for them also to earn, and for a lot of Indian or global consumers to understand about Ayurveda. So we are digitalizing the entire Vaidya consultation space. We also look at the shipment and replenishment industry, because that is one very core aspect of our business, because our business involves a lot of working capital in our inventories, and the cost of capital in India is not going down, and the way India is so complex, so for our business it is important to look at that what kind of our products are selling at what scale in different markets. So we use a lot of technology for reducing this cost of capital that's deployed in inventory, and also the time we take to reach to market, because our business is dependent on last mile logistics and third party logistics partners, where the cost of doing business goes significantly up if we really don't look at data and data analytics to understand that how our businesses are being carried out. So over last 2.5 years, proud to say that at this forum that we are one of the most valuable startups in the company, with 5-6 large investors who have really come out and backed up. Ayurveda was never ever externally invested by the venture capital fraternity. They've never invested in Ayurveda because they always thought that Indian Ayurveda is slow. It's like, it has been there, but it has never become mainstream. We've cracked that code where, large global private equities and venture capitalists are now looking at Indian Ayurveda to revolutionize the world, because it really has that strength that could be done. But for us, it was important to create that entire organization and platform which becomes investable. And other than investable, now we are almost acquiring 7.5 lakh consumers in a month. In less than 2 years to reach to this scale itself has become, a great thing to look at, because what we've witnessed that we thought it would be difficult, but when we are taking it to the consumers are taking it, with open arms. So a lot of you guys would be traveling on air. So we are using very smart marketing tactics also. So we are, for the next 3 years, whenever you travel on Vistara, you'll find our samples getting to you across your 90 minutes plus flying in Vistara. So we've used a lot of smart marketing hacks, or you can say tactics, to really skyrocket our brand awareness in the country. And platform like this, I would like to congratulate Devika and Anurag that they are really promoting the new age businesses and bringing them to life, because whatever we have been able to do, it's like learning. And if we can, contribute while speaking to people or sharing our experience and knowledge, it would only help more and more businesses to grow like us and grow faster. Because I strongly believe that this is India's decade, where Indians were first considered as the dumping ground where we used to consume a lot of brands coming from outside the country. Now Indians are creating large consumer brands, and that's visible across. You look at electronics, you look at fashion, you look at beauty, you look at now Ayurveda. We are creating global brands which will drive the distant, or not the distant, now a very achievable dream of 5 trillion, but a more aggressive dream of becoming a $10 trillion economy, because exports is where we would be able to really grow faster. So with that, thank you for having me. I will be around for some time. If anyone would like to catch up for a coffee, we'll be there. Thanks a lot.